Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Civilspedia's Daily Current Affairs Analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. And today's date is 12th of July 2025. In this video, we are going to discuss about the following topics, and the topics taken for today's discussion are listed below. And in this section of video, we are going to know about the overview on Public Security Bill, which was recently passed by the Maharashtra Assembly. And this bill was known as Special Public Security Bill of 2024, passed by the Maharashtra Assembly by voice. And it aims to, this Special Public Security Bill aims to curb the activities of left-wing extremism organization and its affiliated members. And this is not the first state to pass this type of public security bill, and Maharashtra will be the fifth state to pass such a law. And other states which also got the similar public security bill are Odisha, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And these areas are affected by the left-wing extremism, particularly the Naxalbari areas. And it also got prominence because of the red corridor regions. These states are all red corridor regions. Other than red corridor regions, the public security bill got passed by the legislative assembly, which was not entirely covered under the Naxalbari or the red corridor area, is the Maharashtra. And with respect to the public security law, this law is also aims to prevent the activities which are in threat to the internal security as well as the public order of the state. And it also allows the state government to ban the extremist organization or the left-wing the extremist organization, and it also got the power to seize the assets of the organization as well as penalizing the members of the organization. And it also can arrest the members who are affiliated with the banned organization. This public security law is a state-specific law, and it got this supplementing or similar to the national laws like Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. And with respect to the Maharashtra's proposed public security bill, it was passed in the year 2025 July in the Legislative Assembly, and the next step of this bill is to be tabled in the Legislative Council, which needs final approval or which is the final passage of the bill to get passed. And in turn, governor will have to give the assent to that bill. And other states which are similar laws are Chhattisgarh, AP, Odisha and Telangana. These are all the red corridor areas as we discussed earlier. And the provisions involved, key provisions that are involved in the proposed bill was, it got the provision of 2 to 7 years of imprisonment for the association with the banned groups or this left-wing extremist groups. And it made the provision of cognizable offense under this bill, and it also makes the offense as non-bailable. And this proposed bill got the power to seize and forfeit the funds of the organization, as well as it also can arrest the members who are affiliated with the banned organization. And a specific key provision involved in this bill is that it got the inclusion of advisory board, which need to provide the certification for the banning of that organization. And it also has the provision to for the approval given by the court, and there needs to be a proper evidence need to be submitted for the arrest of an individual who are associated with that banned organization. And this proposed bill also got the exclusive provision that peaceful dissent, that is protesting in a peaceful manner and criticizing the government is not covered under this act, and it is not punishable under this act. And what are all the concern raised by the opposition party with respect to the proposed bill is that it got the vague definition for the left-wing extremism as a holistic term, which in turn leads to the risk to left-leaning students who are in the ideology of left ideology may got scared because of this proposed bill, and also the farmer groups also got scared. And the retrospective effect given in the proposed bill also a major concern for the legal action needs taken that ought to be taken with by giving the retrospective effect. And it also got a chilling effect on the civil society as well as those who are providing a dissent among the government. And by comparing the UAPA, that is Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, and the proposed state security law, the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act was passed in the year 1967, which is a central law targeting the terrorist activities and other unlawful activities. But the proposed Maharashtra security law is a state specific activity focus morely on the left wing extremism groups. And there is a provision in the UAPA that individual got detention will be held under detention about 180 days of detention without filing a charge sheet. But in the Maharashtra's proposed bill, there needs to be a proper evidence need to be submitted for the court for the detention of an individual. And with respect to the banning of an organization, the Unlawful Activities and Prevention Act will be listed by the Ministry of Housing, Home Affairs. And with respect to the banning of the organization in the state level, it needs the approval from the state functionary or the state government as well as the advisory board under this proposed bill. Moving to the prelims practice question, in the Indian constitution, the subject of public order falls under which list? And the term public order falls under the 7th schedule state list. So the answer is B. Moving to the next topic, in this topic, a recent report released by the NITI Aayog, that is the roadmap for strengthening states science and tech council. And in this report, the NITI Aayog stated that the core grant given by central government has to be cut down and make the state science and tech council to par down based on the projects that need support from the central government. And it is also established that it also recommended that the state science and tech council needs to be based on project based support rather than giving grant for holistically. And with respect to the NITI Aayog, it was established in the year of 2015 on January 1st, and it got replaced the decade-old Planning Commission, which was established during the Nehruvian era. And it was established on the basis of a policy think tank for the government of India. And the key role played by this NITI Aayog is that it is majorly an advisory body for the center and state governments on policy making and other strategy decisions. And it also promotes the cooperative and competitive federalism between center and states, and it drives the governance through basically a data driven policy, and it also supports the sustainable development goal implementation across the nation. And with respect to the composition and leadership of this NITI Aayog, the chairperson of NITI Aayog is obviously the Prime Minister of India, and the vice chairperson is currently Suman Berry, and the CEO of this organization is BVR Subramaniam, and the vice chairperson and CEO got appointed by the Prime Minister of India. And the funding of this NITI Aayog is unlike Planning Commission, it is not a direct grant giving body to center or state organization, state government mechanism. It is only a it only recommends the center or state government to provide fund to this sector or other strategy making, and it also advises on fund distribution, encourages project based funding. As I said, this is in news because in this news also the NITI Aayog recommends the Department of Science and Technology to cut down the core grant given for the development of science and technology and other R&D projects, rather than going by granting a grant on holistic basis. It will be on a project based. So it also advises in that manner, and it also helps in designing and evaluation of centrally sponsored schemes. Especially this NITI Aayog got more name in the design and evaluation of MG Narega program, and it got the influence of grants via performance indices like sustainable development goals and other health and innovation indexes. And we are going to know about the indices which are released by the NITI Aayog. There are around 9 indices which are released by the NITI Aayog, and the list of NITI Aayog indices are as follows: Global Innovation Index, India Innovation Index, Multidimensional Poverty Index, Export Preparedness Index, Sustainable Development Goal Index, State Energy Index, State Health Index, School Education Quality Index, District Hospital Index. These are all the 9 indices which are released by the NITI Aayog, and it may be appear on any UPSC question paper because of the relevance that it got. And it also supports the special programs like aspirational district program, which is also more important with respect to the NITI Aayog's support to certain programs, special programs. And funding of this NITI Aayog will be done by the union budget, and the current allocation of the budget for the year 2023 to 2024 is around 150 crores. And with respect to the Interstate Council, which also got prominence with this news, the main constitutional basis of this Interstate Council got its relevance because the article 263, which makes the Interstate Council a legal provision, and it got established in the year 1990 through the recommendation given by the Shankar IAS Commission. And the purpose of this Interstate Council is to facilitate center-state and interstate cooperation and coordination. And the chairman of this Interstate Council will be the Prime Minister of India, and the members of the Interstate Council will be chief ministers of the states, union ministers, and union territories administrators. And the secretary of this Interstate Council is Ministry of Home Affairs, and the standing committee is headed by the Union Minister of Home. And the last meeting was held in the year 2016, that is the 11th Interstate Council meeting. And the main function of this Interstate Council is to create a policy coordination between both center and state, and also it addresses the common issues between center state and interstate. Also it discusses and arrive at the solution or disputes, and it recommends for the interstate or center state issues. Moving to the prelims practice question, which of the following commission recommends the establishment of Interstate Council? Option A, Punchi Commission. Option B, Shankar IAS Commission. Option C, Ashok Mehta Commission. Option D, none of the above. And we can easily arrive at the answer, that is Shankar IAS Commission, option B. The S-400 defense missile system is in use because of the recent identification of an Indian firm by the Defense Ministry for the maintenance, repair and overhaul facility of specifically the S-400 defense missile system. And in this video, we are going to discuss about the integrated counter unmanned aircraft system, which is a grid type system used to neutralize the threats provided by drones, and the drones used for surveillance and the delivery of explosive materials and used for swarm attacks. And the key features of this integrated counter unmanned aircraft system is the early detection using radar and radio frequency sensors and electro-optic cameras and infrared cameras. It's also got the feature of jamming the drones using disruptions caused in the signal between drones and operator, which makes the communication gap between the drone and the operator. And it also has the feature of killing through kinetic energy, like usage of guns, missile systems, and the interceptor drones for countering the unmanned aircraft which enters to the native land. And which also got the proposal to include the directed energy weapons like laser technology, laser based technology into this integrated counter and unmanned aircraft system through DRDO's production. And with respect to the India's production for on defense through drone mechanism is that the D4 system, which was developed by the India's DRDO, and it got deployed in the areas of airports, military bases, and power plants of Indian region. And it also be a part of India's layer air defense system network. And with respect to the India's air defense system, it is a multi-layered air defense system with inclusion of missile technologies, aircrafts, and drones. And the key systems or the this multi-layered defense system is comprises of the following key systems. And the first thing in the air defense system is the S-400 missile defense system, which was incorporated or with the collaboration from Russia. It is a long range surface to air missile system, and the indigenously produced Akash missile system was a short to medium range missile system. And the inclusion of three other missile defense system from the Israeli cooperation, that is the Spider, which is a quick reaction countering the activity or through missile interception, and the Barak 8, which is also prominent in the Operation Sindoor, and which is a naval and land interceptor missile system, and the Iron Dome missile system, which needs to be included, and it is under currently under consideration. And moving to the S-400 Triumph air defense system, which was incorporated from India's, and the production of this R400 Triumph air defense system was done by the Almas Ante, and the deal proposed for this integration of air defense system into the India is around $5.4 billion in the year 2018, and we got delivered 3 out of 5 system, and deployment has been concluded. The capability with respect to the capability of this S-400 Triumph air defense system is that it can range up to 400 kilometers, and it is a multi missile system. It can launch multiple rounds of missile defense into the target, and it also has the capability of targeting multiple missiles by intercepting in the midway. And it got the capability, enhancement of capability through the inclusion of a separate radar called phased array radar for its 360-degree coverage. After integration into the India's defense system, it got renamed into the Sudarshan Chakra, which got its name from the famous deity in the Hindu religion, Vishnu's weapon. And this Sudarshan Chakra is also representing the 360-degree coverage, and it is effective during the proved to be effective during the Operation Sindoor of India's countering Pakistan's intrusion. And it got also deployed along the border areas of Pakistan as well as China. And with respect to the Make in India and the defense sector in India, The Make in India program was launched in the year 2014, and the main objective or goal of this Make in India is to produce indigenous manufacturing and to reduce the import dependency among various countries. And the key initiative taken with respect to this Make in India program is that by fixing the cap has been raised to 74% through automatic route on defense sector by the foreign direct investment. And with respect to the draft defense protection and export promotion policy of 2020, there is a separate dedicated roadmap for the defense production, which also got the inclusion of positive indigenization list, which got included because to produce indigenous we need to integrate it into the ecosystem, and there is a involvement of private sectors like L&T, Tata and Bharat Forge into the defense manufacturing sector. And the DRDO, which is a prominent organization for the defense cooperation and development, will need to be partnership with the startups and other deep root level manufacturing agencies or manufacturing institutions to develop a grassroots level manufacturing among the defense sector. And there need to be a dedicated defense corridor needs to be formulated among the Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh. Moving to the prelims practice question, what is the main function of an integrated counter unmanned aircraft system? Is that option A, detect and destroy enemy submarines, which is incorrect because it is not the correct objective or the function. Detect and neutralize drone threats, which is somewhat relevant, and detect nuclear missiles is incorrect. Provide satellite navigation is absolutely incorrect. So the answer is B, detect and neutralize drone threats. Recently, there is an unprecedented flood situation happened in Nepal and border areas of China because of the glacial lake outburst and not because of the rain. And as we discussed, the suspected cause for this disaster in the Nepal region is because of the glacial lake outburst flood or landslide lake outburst flood. And what makes it more prominent is that according to the satellite data, the weather situation around or over the Nepal areas shows no rainfall in the region. So, and which also got the weather normal along the Tibetan region also. Establishes the fact that it rules out the situation because of flood happened due to monsoon influence. And other major factor for the occurrence of this disaster in the Nepal was because of the failure of early warning system. There is a lack of early warning system, and they are not working properly in that area. So the Nepal got no significance for the real-time monitoring or evaluating the glacial lake outburst or the flood situation in the mountainous region of Nepal. And it got induced by the climate change factor along the Himalayan glaciers, which shows that the melting range of glaciers in the mountainous regions of Himalayas, particularly along the Nepal region, got twice the number of thawing average along the global average. And according to the ICIMOD data, that is International Center for Integrated Mountain Development data, which was founded in the year 1981, the data shows that there is a significant increase in the size of glacial lakes, that is 33%, and the 16% increase in the number of glacial lakes around 1990 to 2020. And particularly to this ICIMOD, that is International Center for Integrated Mountain Development, there are 8 regional members along the Hindu Kush mountain ranges, and the other organization members are Afghanistan, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar and China and Pakistan. And what are all the major rivers between India and Nepal is also more important for the UPSC prelims point of view. And the first river we are going to discuss is the Kosi river, which is also known as Saptakoshi, and it origins from the eastern parts of Nepal, and it enters into the Bihar and confluence in the river Ganga. And it also got the significance that it is also known as the sorrow of Bihar, as it is frequently flooded and makes disaster in the Bihar region. So it is the sorrow of Bengal. And the Kosi river got regulated by the Kosi barrage between India and Nepal under the Kosi agreement of 1954. And the second river we are going to discuss is the Gandak river, which is also known as Narayani. It is originated from the main parts of Nepal, and it also enters into the India through Bihar, and it also confluences in the Ganga river. And it got its prominence because of the irrigation and hydropower potential that it got, and it got regulated by the Gandak barrage agreement of 1959. And the third river we are going to discuss is the Gagra river, which is also known as Karnali. It origins from the Tibetan region, and it got into India via Uttar Pradesh, and in between from Tibet it got Nepal, and it connects Uttar Pradesh through India, and it also confluences into the Ganga river. And it is also the Gagra river is also the largest Ganga's tributary by the amount of volume, and it got the highest potential for hydroelectricity. And the fourth river we are going to discuss is the Mahakali river, which is also known as Sharda. And it is more prominent because it originated from the region of Kalapani, which is a disputed region between India and Nepal. And the other disputed area between India and Nepal is the Susta region. We have two regions under dispute between India and Nepal. One is the Kalapani region, and the second is the Susta region. And the Mahakali river runs along the borders of India and Nepal, and confluence into the Gagra river, which in turn confluence into the Ganga river. This this Mahakali river is regulated under the Mahakali Treaty of 1996, and there is a separate Sharda canal for irrigation process. And here we can see the river of from Nepal and India, between Nepal and India, the Gandaki river, that is Gandak river, and the Kosi river, which in turn confluence into the Ganga river. And we are going to know about the Glacial Lake Outburst flood. And this Glacial Lake Outburst flood is the sudden release of water from Glacial Lake due to dam failure. That is not a dam, that is the banks of Glacial Lake which got the damage, and the sudden release of water from that lake, which was induced by the ice and moraines. Moraines are glacial dusts, and it has the potential to destroy villages, bridges, roads, and even led to the cause of loss of life. This glacial lake outburst floods got significance, and it is more triggered by the following activity, that is excess of thawing over the area, that is due to climate change or climate resilient mechanism failure. And this excess glacier development, glacier melts, which in turn lead to the excess of thawing, and supply of water to that glacial lake makes the outburst of the lake. And the second thing is the ice fall, that is carving of icebergs into the lake, which in turn induces the glacial lake outburst floods. And also the landslide, which also induce the this process, or the earthquake is also an primary inducer of this disaster. And another most important inducing factor or the stimulating factor of this disaster is the avalanches and the rapid snow melts. And as I said, that this is the ice calving. If this huge iceberg got carved and slope down or falls in directly into the glacial lakes, it got more potential to dispose more water from that lake, which induces the glacial lake outburst. And due to other moraine and other activities, this lake got this dam barged because of the glacial moraines and abrasion activities happened on that lake, which also lead to glacial lake outbursts. And the other major river we are going to discuss is the Bhotekoshi river, which is originated in the Tibetan region, especially the Sangzangbo glacier, and it flows through the Rosava and Sindhu Palchok areas of districts of Nepal, and it joins the Sankoshi river, which in turn joins the major river system of Koshi river system. And it got its international prominence because this Bhotekoshi river flows or channel through Nepal and China border along the trade route. And what is the importance of this Bhotekoshi river is that it got the potential of hydropower plants in the upper regions of Bhotekoshi river, and it is also one of the prominent key trade routes between Nepal and China. And recently this friendship bridge also got damaged because of the recent glacial lake outbursts, and it also be more popular for tourism activities like rafting and adventurous tourism. And this Bhotekoshi river is of glacial origin, and because of that it is vulnerable to following floods, glacial lake outburst floods, and also the landslides because of the mountainous terrains. And in the year of 2025 there is a catastrophic flood without rain happened, which also makes river more vulnerable. And what makes this river more important, because the recent glacial lake outburst also notifies that the trade route got distracted because of the glacial lake outburst, and the trade between both the nations got stalled, and there is a need for the early warning system that needs to be in active mode for the earlier prediction of this disaster, early warning system. And also there is a need and room for cross-border cooperation in this early warning mechanisms. Moving to the prelims practice question, which of the following is or causes glacial lake outburst in Himalayas? First one is the thawing, second is the lack of monsoon, third option is the heavy construction. Select the correct answer with the code given below. And the answer for this question is, and we can easily arrive at the answer, that thawing is the one of the primary factor for cause of this glacial lake outburst. So first option is correct, and lack of monsoon is incorrect, because if there is a monsoon there is a rain, so it induces the glacial lake outburst. So lack of monsoon will not induce the glacial lake outburst. So the second option is incorrect, and the third option is correct, because of the vibrations and other construction activities makes the area more vulnerable to the causes of landslides and avalanches. So it will in turn induce the glacial lake outburst. So the third option is correct. So the answer is B, 1 and 3. The Aadhaar Election Commission of India and the electoral roll got its prominence and frequently in news because of the Bihar Assembly election and the special intensified revision activity taken out by the Election Commission of India for the electoral roll refinement for the Bihar Assembly election. And with respect to the special intensified revision and of the electoral rolls for the Bihar election, the recent report and the guideline provided by the Supreme Court of India for making the Aadhaar as one of the documents supporting the resident to be included in the special intensified revision. But the recent report released indicated that the Aadhaar has been used in the earlier election for the voter enrollment, despite that time the restrictions provided by the Supreme Court. And it also raised the concern over the privacy of the individual as well as the prior consent for the inclusion of this identity and the legality of Aadhaar-Voter ID linkage. As Aadhaar is not a document of proving citizenship, Indian citizenship, it also raised the constitutional question of its legality. And with respect to the key facts related to Aadhaar, it is an 12. It provides a 12-digit unique ID by the Unique Identification Development Authority of India using various biometrics like fingerprint identification of through iris and photograph, which also includes the demographic data of the individual. And it intends to be the identification of an resident of India, and it is not the proof for the citizenship. And this Aadhaar can be used effectively for the identification, verification as well as delivery mechanism like inclusion in the jam trinity is the one of the most prominent example. Please look into this jam trinity, which is more relevant to the UPSC preparation and as well as the EKYC norms. And it is the inclusion of Aadhaar into an identity of an individual is a voluntary nature after the landmark judgment which was provided by the Supreme Court in the year 2018. And please have a look at the Puttaswamy case, which is a landmark case in the invasion of privacy with related to privacy of an individual. And this Aadhaar cannot be made mandatory for voter enrollment or voting. And along with that Aadhaar, we also get to know about the Representation of People Act of 1950. According to the Representation of People Act 1950, it governs the electoral roll preparation of certain area of the country or the nation and its maintenance. And the Representation of People Act of 1950 also covers the allocation of seats to certain constituency and the delimitation of constituency and the qualification required for the voters to get voted. And it also empowers the Election Commission of India to update the electoral rolls. And with this provision in the RPA Act of 1950, the Election Commission of India in the year 2015 got proposed a system called National Electoral Roll Purification and Authentication Program, which got stalled after the invasion or the interruption provided by the Supreme Court and stalled the program abruptly. And with respect to the coming to the Representation of People Act of 1950, there is no mandatory provision got included for the provision of linking Aadhaar and voter ID. And this National Electoral Roll Purification and Authentication Program was launched by Election Commission of India to clean electoral rolls via Aadhaar card and electors' photo identity card linkage. And the main objective of this program is to remove the duplicates by updating a voter ID card. And in this program, the Aadhaar card linking with the elector's photo ID card is voluntary and not mandatory, and it got suspended, as I said earlier, in the year of 2015 after the intervention provided by the Supreme Court order limiting the usage of Aadhaar. With reference to Aadhaar and electoral rolls in India, consider the following statements. First statement, Aadhaar is legally accepted as proof of citizenship in India, which is the first statement is incorrect because it is not a proof of citizenship in India. And the second statement, the Representation of People Act of 1950 mandates Aadhaar voter ID linkage, which is also an irrelevant statement. So the second statement is also incorrect. By eliminating the second statement from the option, we can easily cut size the options by eliminating option A and option C from the answer, and we have cut shorted options of option B and option D. And Moving to the third statement, the National Electoral Roll Purification and Authentication Program was a program aimed at cleaning electoral rolls using Aadhaar, is a correct statement because it is a proposed program to clean the electoral rolls by cross-checking and verifying with the Aadhaar data by eliminating the duplicates in the electoral rolls. And the fourth statement, Supreme Court has permitted mandatory Aadhaar linkage for voting is a absurd statement. So the fourth statement is also incorrect. By eliminating the fourth statement also from the option, we can easily arrive at the answer. Option B is the correct answer. That is 3 only. Moving to the next topic. The Namami Ganga project or the Namami Ganga program got its prominence because of the recent proposal provided by the Delhi government over the rejuvenation of Yamuna river. And the Namami Ganga program was launched in the year 2014. It is a mission mode river restoration program, not only for the river restoration according in the lines of pollution control, it also got the rejuvenation of ecological restoration in the Ganges river. And the proposal provided by the Delhi government offers a model of urban river rejuvenation on the lines of Yamuna cleanup program. And this Namami Ganga program got its evolution from the pollution control to the ecological restoration. And the institutional framework or the framework of the Namami Ganga program was created under the National Mission for Clean Ganga, was created under the River Ganga Authorities Order of 2016, and there is a council called National Ganga Council, which was chaired by the Prime Minister, our Prime Minister of India, and it has the composition of empowered task force and executive council along with the district committees. And it also got the inclusion of IITs and consortiums for the river-based scientific planning. And the key feature of this Namami Ganga program is that it got the shift from the, as we discussed earlier, it got the shift from the pollution abatement to the restoration of ecology in nature. And the shift of focus in the Namami Ganga program was on river basin based management apart from a holistic river management. And another prominent feature of this Namami Ganga program is the inclusion or the integration of biodiversity in the restoration of this river. That is specifically to the Ganges dolphin, which is also known as Shishu, which is the national aquatic animal of India, which also included in this Namami Ganga program, which is a key feature of this program. And it also got the inclusion of the participatory and federal model of integration to make this program a more inclusive and cohesive one. And what is the proposed Delhi's Yamuna cleanup program? As Delhi is the major contributor of Yamuna's pollution, which are around 80% of pollution from untreated sewage or wastage that got contaminated directly into the Yamuna river, which in turn contributes to the pollution increase in the Ganges river. And the model followed by the urban governance also. And this Yamuna cleanup program, which includes the urban governance through central level for its success ratio, got included. And the potential model for the subnational mobilization, which is a unique feature of this Yamuna cleanup program, as it got the inclusion of the subnational level, which is a peculiar feature other than the National Ganga program. And this Yamuna cleanup program also highlights the center-state coordination and its challenges in it. And what makes the Delhi to offer, what are all the offers that the Delhi government can provide to the empowerment or the improvement of this national Ganga program, sorry, there is now Namami Ganga program, is that it can integrate the urban led model for river rejuvenation, and it also shows the importance of localized sewage treatment plants and sewage management along the river basins, and it also reveals the need for stronger state ownership for the effective implementation of the rejuvenation program. And it can also refine the interstate cooperation for the water quality management as well as the water treatment management. And the challenges involved in this program is that there is a weak subnational participation, that is only it got dwindled to, or it got reduced to two governments, that is involvement of central government as well as the Delhi government, but it lacks the participation of subnational level. We need to include that into account. And it also has the coordination gaps between the interstate participation, and that there is a fragmented governance lacking mechanism, especially in the urban level, as well as the lack of ownership over the administration of this river rejuvenation program. And certainly there is infrastructure delays and funding constraints along the rejuvenation program, as well as the lack of data with respect to the real time data of pollution that accumulates in the rivers. And what are all the proposed way forward or the way ahead for this program needs to be a more inclusive and cohesive one, is that we need to institutionalize the subnational involvement with financial incentive, that is we need to integrate all the subnational level into this program, and incentivizing them by motivating them to financially incentivize to rejuvenate the program will also add value to the, not only to this Yamuna and Ganga rivers, but also it got included into the other river system flowing in the country and making it more viable across the nation. And we need to create a national framework for river rejuvenation, integrating all rivers. As I said in the earlier point, we need to integrate all the river system across the India into a national framework for its rejuvenation. And we have to devise a certain sewage treatment mechanism and drainage infrastructure, and we need to strengthen this ecosystem to get more cleaner and better water management across India. We need to integrate the urban planning along with the river health indicators that needs to be taken into account. And we also have to encourage the literacy over the river management and the pollution that caused the river to denigrate, and also the public participation to rejuvenate the river system. For that we need data, so that we use usage of the real-time monitoring data as well as the data governance also needs to be integrated in this program for the better rejuvenation of river system in India. With this, we conclude the topic by Yamuna's cleanup can serve as a policy lab, as it can act as a policy lab for the Namami Ganga program. We can easily demonstrate role of urban planning in the river health, as well as the India as a structure. We need a federal, inclusive and ecosystem based river strategy for the betterment of the India's river and other ecosystem which are in support of the river ecosystem. Moving to the mains practice question, the Namami Ganga program has evolved from pollution control to holistic river rejuvenation. Examine how Delhi's Yamuna cleanup effort can inform national river policies and strengthen the Namami Ganga model. In this article, the author of this article shows concern towards the Citizenship Amendment Act, the National Register of Citizens, and the ongoing special intensified revision on Bihar as a path that leads to the disenfranchisement of people and leads to the exclusion of certain community or certain people from the nation. And what makes the citizenship more important is that the constitutional framework of citizenship of India was based on jus soli, that is by birth, was adapted over the jus sanguinis because jus sanguinis is the citizenship on basis of blood or descendants, but jus soli is the citizenship by birth. By adopting this jus soli, that is citizenship by birth, India into the Indian system is a model for secular and inclusive citizenship, and the framework of this citizenship got enumerated in the Indian Constitution from Article 5 to 11, and other major event with respect to the citizenship is that uh, secular citizenship provided in the Indian Constitution is that during the Constitutional Assembly debates in the year 1949, the Constitutional Assembly outrightly and deliberately rejected the religion based criteria for making a citizenship. And what are all the recent developments or the recent concerns that shown by the author on Citizenship Amendment Act and the National Register of Citizens and the special intensified revision, or with respect to the Citizenship Amendment Act, which was recently happened in the year 2019, which grants the citizenship to prosecuted non-Muslim migrants from our neighboring countries or the nations like Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, which makes the contradiction of following the secularism proposed in the Indian Constitution itself. And the National Register of Citizens proposed the requirement of proof of ancestry for Indian residents may got the fear of exclusion of genuine citizens from the country, as they cannot able to provide the required document which was mandatory under the National Register of Citizens, which makes them excluded from the actual citizenship. And the special intensified revision in Bihar will be seen as a would be seen as a backdoor entry of this NRC program, which got a disenfranchising activity or the risk of minorities. And what are the human rights and practical concerns with respect to this three enlisted activity happened or going to happen in India is that the recent Assam NRC fallout, which makes the 19 lakh people got excluded, and around two-third people were women. In the 19 lakh people, two-third were women who lacks document due to some systemic gaps, because they cannot able to provide required documents because of the systemic gap prevalent in the nation. And there is widespread documentation gaps in India, because according to a data, 42% of Indians lack birth certificates, because and vulnerable groups like poor and marginalized communities face risk of exclusion. And the other major concern with respect to the human rights and practical concern is that it may cause the sense of statelessness or right loss, because they may be excluded because of the exclusion may create a rightlessness population, because they may not feel they bind to certain nation because they are not a part of the nation, so there is no legal or political identity. This sense was happened or occurred for an individual who got excluded from this process. and there is growing concern over the establishment of detention centers, which in turn erode the civil liberties. What are the proposed way forward for this three major leaps happened or to be happened in India is that to reassert the constitutional secularism, to bring back the secularism which was backdated in the actual constitution or enumerated in the actual constitution, and to simplify the process of documentation and ensure more accessibility for the people to raise their queries or to get the legal aid, and to offer legal recourse like legal provision of legal aid or grievance redressal, and legal protection needs to be done, which also be included in the process to make them more inclusive in nature, and making election commission of India and the other institutions impartial and apolitical, make them more credible and reliable in nature. And one thing we need to make is that to create more public awareness with respect to this, and proper intimation of this process also makes the democracy more viable and inclusive. Mains practice question for this session is that CAA, that is Citizenship Amendment Act, National Register of Citizens, and voter list revisions have sparked fear of exclusion and discrimination. Discuss the key concern and suggest a way forward. With this, we conclude this session. Hope you guys like the video. Please share your positive comments and suggestions in the comment section given below, and please share the video to your friends and stay in touch with us by subscribing to our Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel.